Ooh, all right, so there's a lot more questions. Here's the questions, guys. There's just like an infinite amount of questions, and it just keeps going up and up and up. So I wasn't able to hit all the questions in the first video, so this is just gonna be me hitting some random questions as I scroll through. I'm not gonna edit this at all. I'm just gonna let you guys watch this raw. I hope it's entertaining, at least a little bit. Myron them deltoids, it was leg day. I don't know why my delts are pumped. How to bring up lagging body parts. You just lift with them, you know? Eventually everything evens out, time fixes everything, but if you need to focus on something, then focus on it a little bit more. Maybe give it 3 times a week instead of 2 times. Maybe give it some extra sets. Maybe your triceps aren't as prominent as your biceps, so maybe on your tricep portions, you do 4 exercises, and your bicep days, you do 2 or 3, because they don't need to grow as much. Would it be more beneficial to focus on building muscle as a teen or getting lean? And that's Freddy _. I definitely think that your teen years are your best years to gain size, simply because a lot of teenagers can burn calories just like nothing. Like when I was a teenager, I could eat tons of crap and I would gain lean muscle mass because my body was growing. I mean, not only is your body using food to grow your muscles, but it's also growing your bone density and just everything. Like you're a lot more anabolic in multiple ways, and you're using a lot more calories, so you're able to eat a lot more calories. Plus, when you're a kid, when you're maybe 15, 16, 17, every year that you're getting older, your natural testosterone is increasing more and more. So as you're bulking and as you're getting better knowledge of how to exercise and you're getting more mass, so you're able to contract better and you're getting a better connection. Also, you're able to have harder workouts. You're now growing mass in time with your testosterone coming up, in time with you bulking. I really feel that teen years are the best years to bulk, although I do understand that bulking when you're a teen kind of sucks, because like imagine you get friends are going to the beach or something. You don't want to be bulking, you want to have them shredded abs. But if you are mature past your years, beyond your years, and you have the forethought, you can do what I did, which is bulk for years at a time. I bulked for legitimately 1 year straight, and then I would cut for like 5 to 12 weeks and then another year. And doing that, I was very fluffy, I was very fat, big moon face, but I was able to put on a lot of mass. And then people would accuse me of steroids, and I was like, no, just got more forethought than you, and I didn't cut every 6 weeks. I feel like a lot of people do too much mini bulking and mini cutting, which is never good. Never good at all. Do you like turtles? I absolutely love turtles. Luke Costello says, how did you get vascularity on your legs? Question mark. You know what's funny is I never had vascularity on my legs, and I used to always see those, you know, those, of course, you guys know those pictures. The pictures on Instagram where people are like, oh, look at the leg pump, look at them leg veins, and it looks insane, right? But really, I don't even feel like that has to do with body fat. Of course, it has to do a little bit with body fat, but it's not because like I'm like 4% so you can see my veins. It's more to do with the fact that you're like a lowish, come on, body fat, combined with high blood pressure. So like if you just ate a ton of salt or something last night, or you had a shitload of water and food and you're like very pressurized, that's when I see my veins on my legs come out. So it's not as impressive as you might think, although it does look pretty cool. Makes you look like you're pretty shredded. Miss _Lil says, does your anus hurt after I fist it? Yours might. AM Canto says, what age did you start bodybuilding? I lifted at 15. I started lifting at 15 and a half years old in high school. Got made fun of so much. I can't tell you how much I got made fun of for following my passion as a bodybuilder. People told me I'm stupid, I should do football, I'm skinny, why do I call myself a bodybuilder, why am I weighing things out, none of that matters, you should just eat burgers, blah, 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 blah. And now those same people are the ones that aren't doing much, anything, and they're asking me for help. Everybody that legitimately, like 95% of the people that hated on me in the earlier part of my journey, now either respect it or have asked me for help or questions, which I'm not making fun of those people, but I am saying this is good motivation for you. If you have a lot of haters, you have a lot of kids that are not encouraging or whatever, just remember that if you do it well enough and you do it long enough, you can prove those people wrong. And I know that sounds cliche, but at a certain point, you get so good at something that people have no ability to hate anymore because they have to respect the fact that you've established yourself. Like, you can't really hate on me for being a fitness person when I have 50,000 people that follow me or whatever. I don't really have 50,000, I have like 40 or something like that. But like, you know, you can't be like, oh, no one cares about you, because that's an illegitimate statement. You know, people do care. And it's not a cocky thing. It's just like, once you've done something well enough, you earn people's respect. A little bit of a rant there. Let's see what the next one is. If you could have any superpower, what would you want and what would you do with it? Marcus Tucker. You know, it'd be really cool to be able to read people's minds. Just be able to, hear what they're thinking inside of their subconscious little conversation with themselves. So that way, you meet somebody and you're like, oh, it's absolutely nice to meet you. I'd love to work with you in the future. And then you look them in the eyes and you really hear what they're thinking. And they say, yeah, I'd love to work with you in the future. And then in their head, they're like, I hate you so much. You cocky piece of crap. and then you can just leave because then you read their mind. You already know, right? I always try to come up with a different superpower every time that question gets asked, because really, I'd love to fly. Maybe speaking every language fluently. That would be pretty juicy. You could travel anywhere and do anything you wanted. Mikey says, when are we getting a workout in? Anytime you want. Anytime anybody wants to work out with me and you're down here, let's do it. Down here in San Diego, hit me up. I'm absolutely willing to work with subscribers, but do mind you that working out with me, we are going to get a workout in. So you're going to do whatever day that it is for me. And I'm not trying to be a dick. It's just like, that's what it is. And we're going to talk afterwards. We'll talk before, I'll meet you and stuff. Then we're going to get it in. Very little talking happens when I work out, even with my best friends. But then afterwards, we have sauna talk. And that's when you can actually talk on the cardio machines or in the sauna. And we can get the whole doo-wop diddly in. But if you're going to work out with me and my buds, you better bring it. And you better be ready. Because we take it seriously. Well, I take it seriously. LP and O2B don't take it seriously. Why is everyone... Just kidding. Maybe they do. What body fat percent do you let yourself get to on a bulk to know when to cut? Diego Valdez, 1771. I always say don't aim for numbers. Numbers are so deceiving and silly. Aim for what you want in the mirror. So like I always say, I have physical landmarks where I know how high or low of body fat I am. When I see my serrates, for example, when I see the serratus right here, I don't know if you guys know what serrates are, but that means that I'm somewhere around 8 or 9. I'm definitely single digit body fat. When I start getting a really big moon face and I start getting my jowls right here, start really getting fat, and I start getting a very, very round face, that's the point where I get pretty tired of bulking. That doesn't occur until at least 35 weeks in. That depends how hard I'm bulking. If I'm bulking my 5 to 6K, that'll happen about 30 to 35 in. But even then, I'll push farther into it. I'll be uncomfortable with myself. I mean, not like nervous or like afraid to talk to people or like insecure, but like I'll be like, God, I'm fat. I hate the feeling of my face being fat and not being able to see my jawline. But I know in my head, with the forethought that I have, that pushing on and doing 50 weeks of a bulk is going to be so much more beneficial than getting nervous about whatever it is that I'm insecure about getting fat 15, 20 weeks in and then stopping and not going all the way in. And then, completely starving myself of those gains that I could have gotten, I always encourage doing as long bulks and as long cuts as you can. Try to do as long of a bulk as you can, put as much muscle on as possible and sacrifice gaining that fat, and then do as long of a cut as possible. This is important, a long cut. That way you can minimize the amount of fat loss, because there's so many people that just go way too hard, way too ham, because they want to see their definition, but they don't want to cut forever. They're like, oh, I'm not in the gym making progress, so it's actually bad if I have a long cut. It's actually good. You retain muscle mass, you retain strength, then you'll be able to hit the weights that you want to. Let me answer a few more. There are so many. You might laugh at this one. Loyal Run leaves this one. You might laugh at this one. I deserve it. Haha. But what are the importance of sets and reps? Sets and reps. The rep range that you use determines what's happening with your muscles. So if you're using very small, a very like 1 through 3, 4 reps, and you're using a lot of weight. By the way, when I say the amount of reps, I mean that you're failing at, or getting close to failure at the top range of that rep. So like 1 to 3, then you're failing somewhere around 3. That's for strength, right? That's going to recruit motor units. That's basically the efficiency of receiving impulses from your brain to whatever muscle it is that's contracting. So you can it's called rate coding. It's very confusing. Basically, you can just receive more impulses from your brain to that muscle, which allows it to contract actually with more strength. It's very complicated. I don't want to go into it all the way, but basically it allows you to contract with more strength. You're able to be stronger. It doesn't necessarily build hypertrophy. It doesn't build muscle, but it lets you do strength. Now, that mid-range between 4 and like 8, 9, 10, something like that, is a nice mixture between strength motor unit recruiting, and hypertrophy. And then there's the higher end, which is 9 through 16 or 10 through 16, whatever you want to call it. It's not very specific, believe me. Everyone has their opinions. It's not science to an exact rep range number. But anything higher than that is what people would typically call toning or bodybuilding rep ranges. And that high reps are what build size. It's what is going to build those round muscles and those really good looking muscles, the heavyweight muscles, but not the muscles that are going to deadlift 600 pounds, right? Like, for example, I'm twice as big as, say, Tim Thibodeau, right? And I mean, there's no hate here, but Tim Thibodeau is probably about half my size in weight or whatever. I mean, obviously not, he's not 100 pounds, but you know what I'm saying? He's like 160 or something, 170, and I'm like 200-ish. And he can lift more than me on deadlifts and squats. I'm pretty sure he can hit like 5.5 plates on, I don't know, some crazy amount of weight. But you look at him, and he and I stand next to each other and wear short shorts so you can see our legs and whatnot. My legs are significantly bigger. Of course, I'm no hate. This is just a perfect example because he's a powerlifter and I'm a bodybuilder. So my muscles look bigger than most people, and they look more defined and more round and symmetrical, and it's very detailed. The point is to look very good, and that's what I do well. But he'll always outlift me because he's working in that lower rep range and he's working on his strength, so he's going to outlift me every single time. And that's just how it is. So you got to determine what you want. Do you want to lift a lot of weights, or do you want to look good? And I'm not saying one is better than the other. They're both great. Powerlifting is more of a sport, I feel, because you have numbers that you're aiming for, while bodybuilding or just in general aesthetics, I guess you could kind of call it a sport, but it's subjective. There's no like, this is what you're getting. You're gonna get a 1500 total. No, it's like, wow, man, like your 8-pack looks sick. Is it as sick as that guy's? Let me think. It's more about you, I feel. Bodybuilding is more about you feeling comfortable with yourself and enjoying the size that you can get. Well, powerlifting is very objective based, which I think is badass, but I'm not gonna port over that quite yet. Ooh. Let's go through a couple of more questions. I hope you guys aren't dying over there, but I really enjoy these, and I feel bad that I'm not gonna get everyone's in. Can you, me, and Chucky Slick go catch some waves together after gym session? Of course, I'm the apex. Chucky Slick is actually a professional hockey player and rapper that comes from my hometown, San Diego. And it's funny, before I had any fans, basically, he has something like 40,000 on Twitter, and like he just has a ton of worldwide fans. So I was really awestruck in a way that someone local was doing so well. And I actually helped him produce 2 music videos. And of course, we talk all the time about producing new ones when he comes up with new music. And I'm always willing to help a friend, a local person, and an entrepreneurial mind. Someone who's doing something that I'm doing. It's not in the fitness industry. He's doing it in the hockey industry and in the rapping industry, which is really cool. Anyways, I just wanted to tell you guys who Chucky Slick is. If you guys want, leave a comment, and I'll actually link the music videos that I've worked on for him. What are some tips on always staying positive and optimistic? 16 Alec. Fake it until you make it. Seriously. I know personally from my own experiences, I wasn't depressed or sad or anything like that, but I was a little bit pessimistic or realist. I'm realist now, but positive, optimistic realist. Now, before I was a realist with a lot of pessimism. LP was even worse than me. LP wasn't so much I don't know what you want to call it, but LP was a little bit more pessimistic and negative than I. But coming from that, you're able to appreciate being happy and enjoying yourself a lot more, since you're like, man, I watch these people who I acted like before, and that doesn't sound fun. And I used to act like that. I'm so glad that I'm this way now. It's a lot better. But legitimately, I say fake it until you make it, because forcing yourself to smile and be happy, actually, I'm not even kidding. They've done studies on this. It triggers your brain to feel that emotion, right? So like when you're smiling, it's really hard to not have some sort of positive outlook. I know this is kind of a roundabout answer, but just try to look at things in a positive light. Try to be happy about things. Try to always please other people. That's something I enjoy doing, is I like to please other people, and I'm an extremely empathetic person who is always thinking about what another person is dealing with, what their perspective is of the situation that I'm trying to do. I try not to be selfish. I try not to be like, okay, here's the situation, what's going to be best for me? I try to look at the situation and be like, okay, what's going to be best for me? Okay, and if I do that, is that going to be okay for him? Is that going to be okay for him? Is he going to make it? Okay, if that's not going to work, then I got to make something up. I always try to please other people. Pleasing other people brings you a lot of joy, man, because you see other people have a good time, and it makes you feel good that you're the one who could do that for them. That's why I'm so involved in all of my friends' YouTubes, and I try to shout out and I try to help everyone as much as possible, because I like seeing people succeed, and it creates this vortex of positivity. Whereas, like, if I help somebody and then they're like, Brian, thank you so much for shouting me and getting me 100 subscribers. That's awesome, because not only were they so stoked that morning when they woke up, but I'm now stoked because they just thanked me with extreme, like, authenticity and just real genuine appreciation. It feels great to me. Lisa Ashley says, other than YouTube lifting, what are your favorite things to do? Also, if you could take a dream vacation anywhere right now, where would you go? I'd go right to your house, baby girl. Just kidding. Other than YouTube lifting, what are your favorite things to do? As you know, cinematography is a huge thing for me. That kind of ties into YouTube, which is why I love what I do so much. That's a big part of what I do and what I love. Rapping is a big part of what I love, but I haven't had a lot of time to do that lately. Honestly, all the passions that I used to have a lot more various things that I would chase and stuff. You know, I did soccer and all this other stuff. But as I've grown older, I've gotten better and more involved in the small amounts of things that I do 2 or 3 different passions. But I love those things because the way that I'm set up is I'm not a jack of all trades. I feel like LP is more of a jack of all trades, and I'm more of like an ace of specific trades, and then a jack of everything. But like, go jack off. I'm an ace of like 2 or 3 things, and that's the way I'm set up. I love to find something I enjoy. Obviously, start really bad at it, work on it for an infinitely long, hard amount of time until it's respectable and people can look at it and enjoy it. And then I love that passion because then I've built something that I can do and do well. So making these videos is something I'm very passionate about. I love doing. So YouTube, rapping, lifting, exercising my body. Making people laugh. I'm passionate about social interaction. I love to interact with people. What's your opinion on women taking test boosters from Taylor Gaines? Don't do it, girl. You don't need it. Your body has its own regulated amount of your natural testosterone. If you feel like you're deficient, though, in something that you need that helps you produce testosterone, then you should replace yourself. You should replace whatever it is that you need to. But don't go looking for a test booster. Don't go get Test Gain 5000 or whatever it is because you want to get more gains. But if you feel like you're lacking in zinc, for example, or magnesium, then you should supplement with ZMA pills. Or if for some reason you really do feel that your testosterone is low, maybe try Tribulus, a natural herb that can bring you back to your natural baseline. But never try to increase your testosterone past your natural baseline. It's not a good thing, especially for girls, but really anyone and everyone. This one's good. Swilsos15 says, favorite workout song, genre of music. There's actually a new genre of music that has just come out. I don't know if you guys remember Ice JJ Fish. Remember the song? It was like, girl, I wanna let you know. And he's cracking his voice. That's the new genre. I'm not even kidding you. That song was a joke, but then that style got brought into trap hop, which is like A$AP Ferg, A$AP Rocky, that really bassy, slow hip hop. It's almost like a dubstep track that they rap over. It's a mixture of that with cracking your voice, which is a new genre. I'm not even joking, you guys. So now it's trap crack hop, where you're rapping on a trap hop hip hop beat, but instead of just rapping, you're using a little bit of auto-tune and you're cracking your voice and making it sound bad, but you're doing it so well, you've done it for so long, you've practiced your bad singing and cracking voice that it actually comes out very consonant. It sounds very good. It's not dissonant like you would expect, where you're like, you're actually like, oh, this is good. And that's my new favorite genre. It's not my favorite genre, but it is one of my new favorite genres. And for example, Bobby Shmurda, Hot Nigga is one of the sickest songs. And then Ray Shremmerd, which is eardrummers backwards, W-E, dude, listen to that song. You will blast your deadlifts and your squats in their butts. I kid you not. Let's go 2 more questions. And then we will wrap this up. Actually, 3 more, because this one's easy. Are you natty? I'm absolutely natty. I've been lifting for 7 years. Can you do a backflip? No. I cannot do a backflip. Flipping fitness, strong post to username correlation. I can't do a backflip, but if I could do a backflip, that would be my celebration dance every time I ever made a PR. I would deadlift like 5 plates, and then I'd be like, all right, just do backflips all the time. People would hate me. Celebrity crush, favorite thing about LP. 2 questions in one from Elephant TV. This will be the last one I answer. My celebrity crush? That's a very difficult one. It's hard for me to crush on a celebrity just simply because they're a person. So I could name out like non-celebrities that are a lot more attractive to me than just like Demi Lovato or whatever celebrity people love. Favorite thing about LP? Favorite thing about LP is, I'd say I can appreciate his personality type. I'm type A, you know what I mean? I'm type A, I think that's what it is, but type A, meaning that I see something that needs to be done, I get it done. I wake up, I do things, I can't sit there idle, I push, I'm fast, I'm energetic, I have a lot to say, and I say words that mean things. You know, I have weight to the things that I'm saying in a conversation. I try not to just blabber, I try not to give people just things I try not to just talk to hear myself. I try to give some sort of weight and some sort of reason to everything that I'm saying, and I'm very type A. I mean, I'm very like 1 + 1 is 2. We gotta get this done. Da da ba da ba da. And then I have a little bit of that creativity and all that stuff. But I'm very goal oriented. I'm very gotta stick with it and do it. I don't care if it hurts. I don't care if I fail. I don't care if it takes 15 years. I'm gonna get it done. But LP he's a different type than me. He's a different personality type than me, and it's really cool to have someone like that, because obviously that is not the personality type that I like. I would hate to be that kind of personality, and I'm not saying that his personality is bad. It's just not me. He's much slower than me. He's a lot more in his head than me, so he likes to think before talking. Now, I'm not saying that I don't think before I talk, but instead of talking, he would rather think, and he would rather think instead of and let the conversation leave than just try to get something in before the conversation ends. You know what I'm saying? So where when I'm in a conversation, I'm like, I gotta talk, I gotta get the next words out, because otherwise we're gonna move on. I understand the ADD nature of most people and how fast they need things to go, so I always try to keep my talking quick, and I try to keep my tempo very fast. And LP's much slower. He's able to, think about things, and he's able to go philosophical about things because he's thinking about them so often. He's very creative. I'm very creative. He's creative in a different sense than me. It's very hard to compare us to. But I love LP to death, and it's just great to have someone who's a yin and your yang, you know what I'm saying? Someone who's different than you, but doing the same thing as you, and also at the same time is incredibly encouraging and whatnot, and understands. It's great to have somebody that understands what you're talking about, because I don't have anyone else other than like O2B and whatnot, my best friend, that I could be like, hey man, I'm talking about videos, like, oh, it sucked so bad, I tried to render last night and it didn't render. Everyone would be like, what? But LP understands, so it's kind of nice to have someone like that. I do realize that I just ranted really hard. One more. I know, I keep lying. VM Fitness says, at what age did you realize your passionate, intense, and immense love for ketchup? That's awesome. You guys should follow VM Fitness. This girl's cool. She's really cool. That didn't actually show. VM Fitness on Instagram, or Josie May here on YouTube. When did I find out my intense, passionate love for ketchup? Probably as soon as I started mentioning it in my videos, and then it became a thing of what I eat, Because, of course, I love ketchup. But then, once I started making the joke about how it increases your testosterone and boosts your testosterone and whatnot, everyone started making that joke. And then, if I didn't have it in a video, they couldn't make the joke, so then the joke was about how I didn't have it in the video. So now, every time I eat, I'm conscious of whether or not I'm going to put ketchup on the plate, especially if it's a video, because everyone loves the whole ketchup joke. So I'd say in the last 6 to 8 months, I've really grown my passionate, intense, sensual love for ketchup. and it's a good relationship so far. I don't see anything going wrong. We're going to move in next month. I might even buy her a ring. I'm not really sure, guys. I'm kind of nervous. I don't even know. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I really appreciate it, especially if you came from HumerusFitness, my main channel, and then actually watch the rest of these questions. I know there's so much of me talking and just blabbering, and you're hearing me just go on and on and on these tangents. But the fact that you guys are able to actually watch all this and actually do like it, that's amazing to me, and that encourages me to make more of these, and I really enjoy these. So it's cool that you guys are down to watch and listen to this, especially if you guys are doing cardio. I'm calling you out. Leave me a comment, let me know if you're doing cardio right now, because I feel like that's exactly how I would be watching this video, as on the stairs. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all the love, the support, everything you guys give me. There's lots more interesting content coming up. This is the last month of this year, so we're gonna get it all done. And then 2015, I'm swearing to you guys, things are changing. Lots of stuff is changing, got lots of plans, and it's gonna be beyond exciting. It's beyond what you could even imagine. I'm serious. I'm so serious. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you leave me a comment. And if you're not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe, or I'll hunt you down and I'll fill you up with chocolate pudding. What does that even mean? Who knows? Team Beyond the Week. Lift heavier, die iron. I'll see you all tomorrow.